Hi everyone, my name is Alice and I'm back again with one of my how-to videos. In this case is a page about saying goodbye to 2016 and saying hello to 2017. Um, those pages are very special for me because they are not made in my usual art journal book or any kind of book that uses paper, bigger paper, or no, that is a thicker paper or so. I'm using my diary, the diary in which I write my own life and my own feelings and thoughts. And the problem of using that kind of book is that the pages are really thin to work with, and it's quite difficult. To solve that problem, you can stick some pages one to another, and then you get a thicker paper. But the problem was, I think these are the last two pages of my diary, and I was going to finish one diary just with that tradition. So first I start adding some distress paint. Well, not first, I apply gesso to work better with the pages. And after the gesso was dried, I started coloring with distress paints, with broken china and something about sea. I don't remember right now pretty well, but I will, and on my video will leave all the supplies I use for those pages, so you will not have any problems in choosing the same colors. So after the background was dried, I started to with white acrylic paint to draw the snow and the snowman. For me, it was important to make the circles pretty round, and to make one on top of each other. So as you can see, the body is on top of the what should be the legs, or the bottom part of the body, and the head is over the body, so you can see a little bit of shadow from one circle to another. As the background was pretty boring, so to say, I decided to use a stencil, and with the rest of the acrylic white paint I had, I started applying it with a brush. And notice that I'm not just applying it with a brush, with just making like normal lines, but hitting it softly, so that you cannot color the back part of the stencil, so it works like those sponge many people have, but since I don't have them, I can use my brush gently and then making those background with the snowflakes. After that, and when the background is completely dried, I'm using my watercolor wax crayons, or, well, I don't know exactly how to translate those kind of crayons in English, because we distinguish between crayons and wax crayons. But anyway, so since they are watercolors, you can apply them with water, but instead of that, I'm using my finger in order to control more the shadows I'm creating on the snowman. First, I start with the most light color, that will be light blue, and then I will continue with a darker blue, and I finish with a light line of black in order to define the darkest part of the snowman. I also use a permanent thin marker to draw the eyes and to draw the nose. And I color the nose using the same crayons I've been using to make the shadows, but I do not spread it with a finger because I want the color vibrant and flashy. In some other videos you have already seen me drawing some characters, coloring them using watercolor color pencils. So I decided to just skip that part and directly cut the elf and sticking it here, just making the idea that the elf is decorating the snowman, something that I found it really funny. But before sticking the elf, we have to be sure that we make the shadows, because if not it seems quite unrealistic. So after gluing it, that the right part of the pages is ready, and now we move to the left part where it's going to be the quote. It's going to be Happy New 2017. So for Happy New I stamped some stamps, and since I didn't have bigger ones for numbers, I decided to draw the numbers by myself, just using of course a pencil and a rubber when needed. So when it was finished, I decided first to varnish all the pages to protect the pages with varnish. But you can choose if you want to do the varnishing part first, or you want to color it with acrylic paints first, because in fact I used first the varnish because I wanted to use later markers to color the Happy Year 2017. But after that I found that markers could be a hard work to do, because as you know, markers are like pencils, so I will have to be coloring for quite a long time. So I decided to use acrylic paints instead, and that part I didn't record it, but as you can imagine I used two kinds of brushes, one bigger one for the numbers and the smaller one for the letters. So after that I decided it was very, very black, and it was very showy to me, so I found it very nice to use some white marker to highlight the letters and to create the snow in the numbers. For creating the snow in the numbers I used the Pilot white marker that works like a Tipex. I don't know if you know that kind of correction fluid that we use when we write with pens and we make a blurb or some mistakes and we want to just white out and make it disappear. So that's what I used, although it's not sold as a Tipex like that, but it works very similar for me. So I had to work it with very carefully, because if not it will go wrong. And the problem working with that kind of white liquid is that you cannot be wrong, because if you are wrong, you get any mistake, you have to start from the beginning. You have to add another time the black color and then one more time the white one. So it's quite difficult to work with. And here you can see the page is finally done. Only write goodbye 2016. So I like that final art journal page that let me say goodbye not only to a year but also to my book
to my diary. So I will start a new one soon, and I hope you like it. You had fun watching that video, and we'll see us on the next one. So bye and Happy New Year!